Oh!
Dejan Lovren has given Croatia the lead in France in one of the other Nations League groups in League A. France 0, Croatia 1, and Belgium now lead at home to Iceland. Belgium 2, Iceland 1, with the details to follow. Is Gomez is in possession for England, finding Eric Dyer. Dyer will bring the ball forward towards the halfway line. He's about 6 yards short of the halfway line as he lays it back for Cody. Cody then to Gomez. Declan Rice indicates that the ball should go to Gomez again, and now it's switched through the midfield for Calvin Phillips. Phillips has been very neat and tidy so far, the Leeds United man on his debut. Played forward by Gomez into the feet of the retreating Sancho, and back for Gomez once more, and this time Sancho picking it up that little bit deeper, has the opportunity to turn, but he's gone back for Joe Gomez anyway. Dyer to Cody, and Cody told that the pass back to his goalkeeper was on. He elected to play it forward instead, but Denmark pick up the seconds in the midfield, and now Dolberg will be able to run at the England back line, and it is Kasper Dolberg, and it's over the bar. Let's get news of that second Belgian goal. Ian Abrahams.
Belgium 2, Iceland 1. Axel Witsel, 17-minute shot from the edge of the D, spilled by the goalkeeper, and Missy Batshuayi tapped in the rebound. Belgium 2, Iceland
2-1, Belgium leading Iceland in that game in Brussels. This one 0-0, but that was the closest that either side had come.
Yeah, it was. The ball ended up at Paulson's feet, and he attacked Cody, and Cody was backing off, waiting for the cavalry to come and help out a little bit, and his shot was just a bit wayward, covered by Pickford.
Denmark in a deeper position in the midfield, with Norgard finding Sko. And play back for Jørgensen. Forward from him into the feet of Christian Eriksen. Eriksen, who scored 4 goals for Inter Milan after his move from Tottenham, won 300 games as a Spurs player. Forward towards Brathwaite. Brathwaite towards the right-hand edge of the penalty area. Vest stumbling, manages to find Eriksen inside the box. Plenty of England players back, but they haven't got the ball back yet. Vest in towards the near post, and bundled towards goal by Poulsen. Maybe just came to him a little bit more quickly than he was anticipating, and in the end Joe Gomez was able to smuggle it back over the line and out of play for a corner.
Yeah, that was a really tight affair. Ball whipped in there from England's left, and when it arrived at Poulsen's feet, I don't think he was expecting it. It come through a clutch of players, it's bounced up at him, caught his thigh, and then was hooked for a corner.
Corner which will be taken on the Danish right. It's their first of the game. Taken short in towards the near post. Brathwaite comes out of the penalty area to lay it back for Sko. Sko takes it down towards the corner flag, and the pressure from Alexander-Arnold was so good that in the end he's off balance as he fires the cross in, and he's curved it straight behind the line and out of play for a goal kick. What have you made of the opening 20 minutes, Stuart?
Well, I think it's been pretty wide open at the moment. I think we're waiting for one of the teams to find that real killer pass, and I don't think we've seen that. I think there's been a couple of half opportunities, but probably in the mid-third no one's found that pass to cut the opposition open, and both teams probably looked at their most dangerous when they've played the ball in behind, or in England's case the big diagonal to wide players, then feed it into the box.
Certainly been Denmark's best spell in the last 5-6 minutes or so. Possession still in England's favour. Shot count though is 2-1 in Denmark's. Neither side have had a shot on target up to this point. We're just shy of the midway stage of the first half on TalkSport. Norgard is in there, actually lying on the floor. The ball stuck between his feet for a moment. They got it back for Schmeichel, whose clearance was a little bit flatter than he wanted it to be. But Denmark are able to maintain possession with Eriksen on the right flank. Vest plays it back to him. And then Christian Eriksen, who's only 3 caps short of 100 for his country now, lays it back for Vest once more. Into the dark-haired Norgard in the midfield. Strong challenge comes from Declan Rice. Norgard loses out to Calvin Phillips. And Phillips has done well to recycle possession there for England and get them going again. Forward towards Harry Kane, wearing 9 rather than 10 tonight. Kane running towards the edge of the penalty area, twisting, turning, tripping over the ball for a moment, but getting back to his feet before the Danes had won it back. Phillips then plays in Dyer. Dyer down the left-hand side for Trippier. Trippier towards Raheem Sterling. Sterling just lets the ball roll into the penalty area. He's checked back out, lays it back for Calvin Phillips. Phillips behind square for his central midfield partner Rice. Joe Gomez is forward to join the attack as well for England, but we'll work it back for Cody. Cody in a sweeper position for England finds Dyer. Dyer now for the long crossfield ball. Alexander-Arnold takes a touch, gets there ahead of Poulsen, flicks it to Sancho. Jadon Sancho's been in and out of the game so far, finding Rice. Alexander-Arnold brings it forward now. Then goes back behind square for Dyer. Dyer can play a more progressive ball to his former Spurs teammate Kieran Trippier. Trippier back for Dyer again. 25 yards outside the penalty area. Sterling is played in. Just trying to get in between the Danish lines. Works it back again for Dyer. Dyer to Cody in his blue boots. Finding Dyer once more. And then Dyer will go all the way back for Jordan Pickford. And England just struggling for that little bit of inspiration in and around the final third at the moment.
Yeah, the two so-called wide players and wingers in Sancho and Sterling are just playing tucked in a little bit to support Kane. So our width is coming from our wing-backs in Trent on one side and Trips on the other. So they're not getting a free run, the wide players, to actually get the ball and run at the sort of full-backs. But we're hoping that our wing-backs are going to cause havoc in that respect.
Gomez. Just controlling it inside his own half. Lays it back for Cody. Cody for Eric Dyer. Dyer to Phillips. Phillips to Cody. And there's that crossfield ball again with metronomic accuracy. Finding Alexander-Arnold, chipping into space. He just rolled away from Kane, who stretched out a right leg to try and bring it under control, but Jönsson was there first, and Christensen will get it away towards the halfway line, where it'll be picked up on the Danish left-hand side by Dolberg. Kasper Dolberg, who's got a couple of goals in his 2 French League games so far in this new season. Just lays it back for Delaney. And Delaney finds Norgard, and Denmark will build again. We've played 24 minutes on TalkSport. Good long ball forward, brought under control by Poulsen. Swept up though by Cody. Back for Pickford, who hits a hammer of a left-footed ball forward. Sancho chases that, but it's easily cleared by Sko back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, as I say, just touching on that point again with Sterling and Sancho, they're tucked in, they're almost playing inside right, inside left, you would say, in old money. And they've not had the opportunity to really get the ball and run at their fullbacks because it's so congested in that sort of area. But we have found that big diagonal ball, and especially the last few times to Trent Alexander. He just needs to get it out his feet and whip those crosses in that we see so often for Liverpool.
So on that basis, the fact that Sancho and Sterling aren't quite able to influence the play as much as you would like, should they be playing in wider positions? Well, no why they're playing in the half space to get the width, particularly down the England right-hand side from Alexander-Arnold. But would you like to see the forwards playing out nearer the touchline?
Well, that's the question. In this formation, they can't do that. The width comes from the wing-backs in this formation. If Sterling and Sancho were playing hugging the touchlines, all they would be doing was stood next to our wing-backs, basically. So you're going to have to change to a 4 at the back if you wanted to put those 2 boys out. And Gareth might look at that and say, you know what, I need our most offensive players, the 2 players that can run past somebody, to be on the ball a little bit more often. And if he wants to do that, he's going to have to change formation, Jim, at half-time.
Brathwaite finds Delaney. Now Poulsen. pick it up on the left-hand side for the Danes. Goes into the feet of Christian Eriksen. Back from him to Christensen, and now Eriksen takes over again. Brings it over halfway into the feet of the blonde-haired Dolberg. Flick round the corner by Nørgaard, but it was an intricate flick that was a little bit ambitious, and Joe Gomez will be able to pick it up at the back for England and then find Kieran Trippier, who can bring it forward easily down the England left-hand side. We've played 26 minutes and it's 0-0 with Raheem Sterling making his way forward now. Finds Harry Kane. Kane just couldn't get into a shooting position initially. Flicks it away from Delaney, then tried to drop his shoulder and nudge it to his right to get it to open up for him, and his touch was a little bit heavy and Denmark survived and get it away.
Yeah, great point in case there. Sterling picks the ball up 20 metres off the touchline, just inside, but he's faced by 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 Denmark players, and there's nowhere to go for him. On the other side of that, outside him, is Trippier in 10 metres of space, you know, with nowhere near him. But I think that suits Denmark a little bit.
Coming together now, involving Brathwaite and Dyer, and the free kick goes England's way, about 10 yards inside the Danish half. Dyer just nipped in goal side of Brathwaite as he was trying to control the ball. The Barcelona man wasn't aware he was there, but he caught him. Martin Brathwaite, another player with experience of playing in England. He netted 8 goals in the Championship for Middlesbrough in his time on Teesside. He has scored in 3 of his last 4 internationals. Just missing out in the weekend defeat, a 2-0 home loss to Belgium, which was the first competitive defeat that Denmark have suffered since they lost at home to Montenegro back in October 2016. It's been some record that they have been able to accumulate. In fact, it was the first defeat that they've suffered at all since a friendly in Slovakia 2 years ago this week. They're unbeaten in 15 matches going into the weekend's game against the Red Devils. Here's Brathwaite, forward for Dolberg. Dolberg trying to get the run on Connor Cody, who has done well, just nudge it away. Didn't get too much purchase on the ball into space for Trippier. Phillips is in there and the Danes are putting the pressure on him, and then Delaney gives the Romanian assistant referee a real verbal volley as the ball comes out of play off Trippier for what Delaney was claiming should have been a throw, but it's I think a free kick given the other way, and Delaney's just being spoken to by the referee Istvan Kovacs, telling him to calm down. Well, the referee has given a throw to England, and I can understand Daly's ire, because it should either have been an England free kick or a Denmark throw, but the referee split the difference. England have wasted it. Nørgaard winning it back, finding Eriksen. Now to Brathwaite. Brathwaite shown inside by Trippier, plays it in towards Delaney. And Delaney gets it back, put under immediate pressure by Declan Rice. That forces Denmark to look long, and they've looked too long and found Jordan Pickford, who will bowl it out towards Trent Alexander-Arnold with 28 minutes in, and goal-scoring opportunities very much at a premium. We haven't had a shot on target up to this point. 0-0.
No, I think going back to your point about the formation we're playing at the moment, how it sort of constricts Sterling and Sancho, I'd be tempted at half-time to change that formation and flatten out to a 4 and push both of those into really wide areas, supply them with a ball if we possibly can, and let them take the opposition on one-on-one, because they really are a threat. I mean, both of them can go past people for fun.
Poulsen has the ball on the Danish left-hand side. It was a back 3 that Belgium played in their victory against Denmark the other day. England playing almost exactly the same system that the Belgians had. Nørgaard forward in towards Brathwaite, and it was a crucially timed and well-timed lunge by Eric Dyer just to knock it away on the edge of his own penalty area. Then Calvin Phillips had to be at his most alert to come back and stop Denmark winning the second ball on the edge of the box. Pickford can clear, but it'll be picked up again at the back by Christensen, and he will play it out towards the Danish left-hand side for Sko. 1-2 between him and Delaney. And now Sko coming in off the touchline, gets it away from Sancho. It's been a lot of chasing without an awful lot of the ball for the England forward 3 so far. Phillips' defensive header just didn't get enough contact on it, fell for Eriksen. Back to halfway for Jørgensen. Then as Eriksen shows for the return ball, he's given the instruction to turn, and he can make the most of 5 yards of space for firing it out towards the left back Sko. Now through the midfield towards Nørgaard. Refer to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg in the starting lineup today. Scholes ball inside the penalty area. Headed away by Conor Coady, off balance, having got it clear, and then a shot comes in and it's wide, but not too far wide from Brathwaite. Met it really well, chesting it down on the edge of the penalty area and hitting it in briskly with his left foot. And it had Jordan Pickford scrambling. And the two best chances of the night so far have both fallen to Denmark.
Brathwaite, fantastic there. I've got to say, he's balled it down and sort of over Phillips with his first touch, or beyond him, need it with his second, and then got a strike away. And I think by your body reaction, shooting across the floor and mine jumping back in my seat, we thought it was pretty close, but it was probably further away than, well, fortunately enough for England it was.
Yeah, the replay certainly showed that Pickford had it covered. And the rising drive about 6 or 7 minutes ago that went over the bar was the closer of the efforts that Denmark have had. But England not pulling up any trees in an attacking capacity so far. They still make the point that we did when commentating on the Iceland game the other night, that there are mitigating circumstances when you look at the personnel that England haven't got playing tonight. That if England were to meet Denmark in the Euros, you would expect that it would be a much stronger starting 11 that they would field. And that's no disrespect to anybody that is playing for England this evening, but it just hasn't quite been the cohesion that you would like to see. I think you and I both feel that playing against Denmark actually suits England more than playing against Iceland, but so far Kane, Sterling, Sancho haven't really had a presentable side of goal between them.
Yeah, and you've got to go back to the fact of Trips, whilst he's having a reasonable game, and I think he did in the last game as a left wing back, if you like, or left-sided player. He's not a naturally left-sided player, and it doesn't come naturally to him to push it out of his feet and whip across into the box, and we're getting nothing from that side of the pitch. We haven't had a crossing from that side of the pitch, and we've only had one from the other side, Trent, at this moment in time, and that will be quite a disappointing factor within the game.
Ainsley Maitland-Niles is a player who can play in that position, of course. Did so to great effect in the Cup semi-final, the FA Cup final and the Community Shield. 3 excellent Wembley performances from Ainsley Maitland-Niles, man of the match in the Community Shield at left wing-back for Arsenal. He is waiting in the wings tonight, hoping to be the 35th English debutant under Gareth Southgate. 12 minutes from half-time, it's still 0-0 on TalkSport. Elsewhere, France 0, Croatia 1. Belgium 2, Iceland 1 in the other game in this group, Group 2 in League A. And Azerbaijan have taken the lead in Cyprus 1-0. Here's Sterling, taking it down towards the corner flag, flicking it back for Trippier. Trippier's right-footed delivery. Better ball in from that England left, but swerved in towards the edge of the 6-yard box and Denmark could get it away. Back it comes from Coady to Gomez. Gomez will make his way forward. Not too far. England just almost trying to draw this Danish press, which hasn't been anything like as prevalent tonight or intense as it was in their game against Belgium on Saturday. England will bring it forward again, but Denmark are happy to back off when Eric Dyer has it, and they'll just invite him forward to within the 10-15 yards of almost the midfield before trying to put the pressure on. Now England have played round it. Alexander-Arnold looking for Harry Kane, making a run from the penalty spot. It was cleared by Christensen. Back to Sancho. Sancho to Rice. Now to Alexander-Arnold again. Works it back for Gomez. Gomez further back for Coady. And Coady in turn plays in Eric Dyer, who comes into Danish territory. 10.5 to go to half-time on TalkSport. 0-0. Alexander-Arnold cushioning the ball back for Jadon Sancho, who's faced up by Delaney, lays it back for Rice. Coming in off that right-hand touchline, Sancho will put it at the feet of Phillips, and Phillips goes square to Dyer on the left. Now played down the touchline for Trippier. Trippier into Sterling. Sterling controlling very neatly. 3 Danish players around him. Works it back for Trippier. Trippier to Sancho. Sancho to Sterling again inside the area, getting away from Brathwaite, gets towards the byline, pulls it back, it doesn't quite fall for Kane, hits Delaney, then it's cleared by Christensen from his own dead ball line, out as far as Phillips in the midfield for England. And the Yorkshireman goes square for Gomez. Gomez back for Coady to Eric Dyer again. Dyer's ball forward into the feet of Kieran Trippier. Phillips can play the way he's facing out towards the England left-hand side, and Sancho will make his way forward to the edge of the penalty area now. Man who scored 44 goals in his time with Borussia Dortmund in 900 games. Back to Phillips. Phillips to Declan Rice. Rice put under pressure by Dolberg. They've got everybody behind the ball, Denmark. No real attacking intent from them at the moment. But England have still just had the one shot off target in 36 minutes of play. That's been the most frustrating aspect at the moment, that for all the possession, not quite enough tempo 90% of the time. Delaney playing it forward for Poulsen. Poulsen will bring it back forward over halfway. Declan Rice comes back to get goal side. It's helped Poulsen up, but he's been able to play in Delaney. Delaney to Eriksen. Space on the Danish right for Brathwaite, but he needed it to be played first time. Brathwaite will make his way into a more central position now as Denmark go back for Zanke Jørgensen. Now out to the left for Sko. Wearing 7, the left back. Turns it back towards halfway. Christensen. England's turn to have everybody back behind the ball, with Denmark making their way forward. That's not the worst ball in. It evaded Dolberg, but it was a nice shape on the cross from the left-hand flank, which went in between the 6-yard box and the edge of the penalty area. England can get it away, but Vest just chests it down. Eriksen will take it. Beautiful turn, gets away from Eric Dyer. Now Eriksen rolls in. Dolberg, who should have scored. Good save, Pickford, diving to his left-hand side. But had Dolberg gone for the big open part of the goal across the face of Pickford, it could have been a different story.
Fantastic piece of play there by Eriksen. Ball rolled up to him. He's just had a look over his shoulder. He saw Dyer coming like a bullfighter. Just stepped round him. Great play, and then just rolled it to his teammate, who come onto it and probably should have gone across the goalkeeper. Anything across the goalie is a goal.
Yeah, like a bullfighter, wonderful turn and a flash of red. Ball comes in from the right-hand side from that corner. Almost Delaney. Was a handball in there potentially by Brathwaite. England smuggle it away. I think another corner has been given. There's no VAR or goal line technology even in these games. It did appear as though Brathwaite headed it down and the ball hit a hand, a Danish hand, but it is a corner, which is their third, and it will be taken on the right-hand side. England defending another set piece. Eriksen with the right hand above his head, right-footed in swinger towards the away swinger, I beg your pardon, towards the near post where Harry Kane is there to head away, and then Vest looking for Eriksen, and the linesman flagged for a throw, and the referee's whistle has gone, and a free kick has been given for what was perceived to be a foul by Sterling on Vest.
Yeah, and I think a foul was given for someone shouting a lot when they fell over, sadly for England's point of view, and it gives Eriksen the opportunity of popping the ball in our box again.
Could be Eriksen, could be Sko, both stand with their hands above their head. It is Eriksen into what he hoped was a dangerous area. Kane though was fouled by Christensen before the ball got there, and it's a free kick which will be taken by England inside their own penalty area with 5 minutes from half-time. And it's still 0-0. Belgium 2, Iceland 1, the other game in this group. Belgium top of the group at the moment with 6 points, England with 4, Denmark with 1, Iceland with none. France 0, Croatia 1, and Sweden 0, Portugal 0. Cyprus 0, Azerbaijan 1, Luxembourg 0, Montenegro 0 in League C Group 1. And League D Group 2, San Marino 0, Liechtenstein 2, coming up towards half-time.
Yeah, Gareth will be thinking now about potential changes, maybe the formation. I would think, for me, I'd flatten out and go to a back four and get Sancho and Sterling as wide as you possibly can and supply them with the ball. As we stand at the moment, Denmark have probably had the best chance in the game by far, and that Eriksen created chance.
So it's been a night of frustration, really, again for England. Up to this point, Schmeichel clearing it. Poulsen backing into Trippier is judged to have been pulled down, and the Romanian referee has given a free kick Denmark's way. It certainly looked to be 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. I think the referee has probably been pretty consistent. Every time there's a coming together between the players, he's given a free kick. He's not let anything go at all evening.
it is so difficult this day and age. You've got to look at a replay a couple of times to define who has fouled who, if at all, I think.
Eriksson Sko standing over it again. Last time from this position it was an Eriksson ball into space. It is again, this time much deeper though, and once more there's pushing and shoving from the Danish players as the ball's on its flight path. And that time it was Dolberg who was the guilty party, and he's given away a free kick, and England's been able to deal with those set pieces relatively comfortably because the Danes have just been indulging in so much wrestling going on. And Jørgensen was also at fault with a pull of the shirt on Alexander-Arnold, that the Danes have just done England's job for them. 4 to go to half-time. It's 0-0. And England will bring it forward with Cody. And those long diagonal balls that were a feature of the opening 15 minutes, haven't seen one in the last 15 minutes or so. We just haven't been able to get Cody into the game from the back in that deep-lying libero position. Delaney trying to play it inside the England penalty area. Alexander-Arnold gets it away. Flicked back by Delaney towards Brathwaite, and then he's run into Declan Rice and got a free kick.
As I said, I rest my case. You can't tell what is a free kick and what isn't.
He can't tell what's a free kick and what isn't. No, that's the problem.
Declan's a little bit perplexed by it, but I think the fact he had his arm across maybe his chin, commonly known as clotheslined him, has given the free kick. But it's in a very dangerous position. Every time that ball flashes across our box, it worries me.
So England defended again with a line of 9 across the edge of the penalty area. Usual suspects over the ball. This time it's Sko who plays it in. It's over Harry Kane's head, but cleared by Cody. Volleyed out towards the right-hand corner flag. Sterling will chase after it out there, make sure it goes out for a throw, not a corner. He was trying to just tease Josef Poulsen into getting the last touch to turn it over the line. Failed, and is a Denmark throw down. Denmark 0, England 0 on TalkSport.
Good defending there by England from that latest free kick. A good strong line, everyone dropping in unison together.
Phillips will clear towards halfway, and Jørgensen will go back to his goalkeeper. Championship season starts on Friday night. Watford against Middlesbrough. And Lee Johnson is alongside me for that one at Vicarage Road on Friday. That's over on TalkSport 2. Game Day Live returns Saturday. Fulham against Arsenal with Clive Tilsley and Trevor Sinclair from Craven Cottage. Shot comes in from distance from the edge of the penalty area from Brathwaite and well wide. After Fulham against Arsenal, Game Day Live with Adrian hosting from West Ham against Newcastle for all the goals as they go in from the Premier League and the EFL. Mickey Gray at Huddersfield, Alvin's at Bournemouth. Crystal Palace against Southampton live over on TalkSport 2, which kicks off at 3. And then Leeds, first game back in the Premier League at Anfield with Sam Allardyce alongside Sam Matterface this Saturday. Faye Carruthers in the chair for that one. And we've also got Birmingham Brentford Saturday lunchtime, Ipswich Wigan Sunday lunchtime from the EFL over on TalkSport 2. So much live football coming your way. Game we're concentrating on tonight is drifting innocuously towards half-time. England get a free kick this time for a jump by Christensen, leaning forward, caught Harry Kane in the back, and it's a free kick which England will take about 20 yards outside the penalty area. Payne etched across Kane's face as he gets back to his feet. Set piece chances have been very sporadic for England in the first 45 minutes. What can they muster from this? Alexander-Arnold standing over it, hands on hips. Got options either side of him. Calvin Phillips has actually drifted into space to Alexander-Arnold's left. He's waved away, and the Liverpool fullback will tease this forward. Cody is up there, Dyer's there as well, so too Harry Kane on the edge of the D. Denmark keeping their line 2 yards outside the penalty area. In from Alexander-Arnold, defensive header away from Delaney, back in from Kane, cleared by Jørgensen, then headed down by Declan Rice. Trippier steers it wide for Phillips on the England left-hand side. The 45 minutes are up, and no need to really extend it, I wouldn't think. And indeed, the referee looks at his watch and signals the end of the first half. Well, England not able to show any real attacking intent through 45 minutes. They've had the majority of possession, but the better chances have all gone Denmark's way. and there is room for improvement in Copenhagen. At the break, it's
leading Iceland by 2-1. Will be with Ian Abrahams in a short while. Stuart, first half really, and you could see England with this side on a learning curve.
Yeah, a little bit that way inclined. I think the formation has probably not helped us. Our two most exciting players that can go past someone are playing tucked in a little bit too much in a lot of traffic. So it's not helping them. The width is coming from Trent on one side, Trips on the other. For me, I'd probably go to a flat back 4 now, probably a 4-2-3-1, and get those two boys as wide as possible and supply them with the ball.
What I do like, though, about this competition is that at least this is all played out properly as opposed to the way we used to. So, you know, Gareth Southgate can see from this as well what he needs to do and with whom.
So it's a fantastic exercise for both players. And as you rightly say, there's no friendlies, you know, we're playing for keeps here, which is fantastic.
It is. I thought that Jordan Pickford, there's been quite a lot of thought on him. You were saying as well you were surprised he played this time. He did make a really good save late on.
Well, I think we're always surprised every time he plays in a game that you think another goalie might give the opportunity. But Gareth trusts him, and we should know better. When we go into the next lot of internationals in October, we'll be saying, well, someone else will play now, Pope's done well, or someone else has done well, but he doesn't. He runs with Pickford, he trusts him, and to be fair to him, he made an outstanding save just before half-time to keep England in the game.
He did. I quite like that, though. Whoever your goalkeeper is, if he's your number one goalkeeper, you might as well stick with him. The others understand that. I think if they weren't playing in the Premier League, the likes of Pope, then you could think that way, but, you know, they are. And I think that if you're the number one, that's a position, as it would be with Harry Kane up front as well. You know, he plays. Well,
put it this way, it's only form that'll get you out the team, you know. So yeah. Pickford knows that he's the number one at this moment in time and has been for a number of years. And it's only his form that will lose that position.
The one thing as well, and there was, you know, just whether England can get that ball forward a little quicker as well from the back. Dyer for me is one of those players at times, he does slow it down just a little bit.
Well, potentially, but I think what they've done is get it forward. Cody's hit a few really good diagonals. Dyer potentially on the odd occasion has hit the diagonal, but I'd like to see that diagonal either land behind the opposition's back line or landing at the feet of Sancho and Sterling with one-on-one scenarios.
Interesting to see what happens in the second half with Stuart Pearson, with Jim Proudfoot. We'll be back with the boys for the whole of that. You'll have your chance to have your say when we're over today. We're not over at all on Talk Sport. It's the Sports Bar open for business from 10 o'clock with Andy and with Jay. So 8717 223344. Half time. Belgium against Iceland. Ian Abrahams.
Belgium 2, Iceland 1 in Brussels. All the goals in 5 minutes mark towards the beginning of this game. For Johnson, put one into the back of the net for Iceland from the edge of the D. Lovely curling shot with his left foot first time. That on 12 minutes, but within 60 seconds, Belgium were level. A free kick by Dries Mertens, left-hand side, 25 yards out. Came back off the angle of posted bar, and Axel Witsel just got enough on it to put the ball over the line. And 5 minutes later, he was the creator for what turns out at the moment to be the winning goal for Belgium. A shot from the edge of the D from Witsel, and Chelsea's Michy Batshuayi tapped the ball into the back of the net. It's Belgium 2, Iceland 1.
Elsewhere in the other groups tonight, also in League A, of course, France against Croatia, and Croatia were ahead for quite some time, but France, with two very late goals from Griezmann and Martial in the last 2 minutes of that first half, means that France now lead by 2-1. It's half-time as well. Sweden 0, Portugal 1. In Group C, League C I should say as well, Cyprus, Azerbaijan, and Azerbaijan leading by 1-0. No goals to tell you about Luxembourg against Montenegro. And then in League C again, that is their Group 2, Armenia 2, Estonia 0, Georgia 1, North Macedonia, who lead that group at the moment, 1-1. That's how it all finished earlier on today. And North Macedonia and Georgia, the two sides at the top of that particular group. And the only other game in the Nations League tonight, San Marino 0, Liechtenstein 2. And that's at the half-time stage. Just to let you know as far as the football's concerned, some terrific live action to come over the next few days as we get back, of course, to Premier League and everything else that you need to know and all the build-up to come to. Friday we start on 2. Watford against Middlesbrough from the Championship. And Jim and Lee Johnson, really looking forward to hearing from Lee Johnson on Friday night. Dan Windle will be in the chair for that one. Reshman, of course, on game day. Fulham against Arsenal. There's Birmingham against Brentford on 2, the early games. Game day live with Adrian Durham, all the goals as they go in. Palace against Southampton on 2. And Liverpool against Leeds in the Premier League. The big game, 5:30 with us, of course. The champions back in action against the newcomers, and it's nationally exclusively live on Talk Sport. Sunday, Ipswich against Wigan in League One. Cricket, Australia doing well. More from John Norman in a moment. That's next on Talk Sport.
It's coming up, it's coming up, it's there.
Will Trippier be able to sort something out here? Eric Dyer is in there making a run. It's laid back for Sancho. Didn't really get hold of it. Disappointing effort from him as he peeled away and scuffed his shot. At his go, left-footed straight over the bar. Disappointing effort. Dyer with the inch-perfect diagonal ball and a decent ball in from Alexander-Arnold, hitting it in first time. Harry Kane couldn't get across the near post in time, and Schmeichel can make a diving save and a decent catch on the edge of the 6-yard box. Stolberg will be able to run at the England back line. It is Casper Dolberg, and it's over the bar. Forward towards Brathwaite. Brathwaite towards the right-hand edge of the penalty area. Vest stumbling, manages to find Eriksson inside the box. Plenty of England players back, but they haven't got the ball back yet. Vest in towards the near post, and bundled towards goal by Paulson. Headed away by Connor Cody, off balance, having got it clear, and then a shot comes in and it's wide, but not too far wide from Brathwaite. And the 2 best chances of the night so far have both fallen to Denmark. Vest just chests it down. Eriksson will take it. Beautiful turn, gets away from Eric Dyer. Now Eriksson rolls in. Dolberg, who should have scored. Good save, Pickford, diving to his left-hand side.
This August, step inside the world of Tottenham Hotspur with Prime Video.
Well, the team are good guys, but good guys, they never win.
Unfiltered access to every moment.
Kane!
We need to work harder than them, and we win this game.
During a season like no other.
Courage, honesty, friendship. That's the most important thing in life and in football.
All or nothing Tottenham Hotspur. New episodes weekly. Watch now, only on Prime Video.
It's back! The brand new CEF Trade Catalogue is out now. Packed with almost 30,000 essential electrical products, all at everyday value prices. Available in-store or for next-day delivery from cef.co.uk. Geographic exclusions apply. Visit your local store now or go to cef.co.uk to request your copy. And now shopping the CEF Trade Catalogue is even easier with the all-new CEF Trade app. Simply download the app, scan what you want and check out. The all-new CEF Trade Catalogue and smartphone app. Make them an essential part of your toolkit. CEF. Your electrical experts.
Your van on site. It's your business card. Your advertisement. If it looks good, you look professional. If your van or pickup has seen better days, now's the time to see to it. The Ford Backbone of Business event. Save £1,000 off the recommended retail price. Get 0% APR representative finance on Ford Acquire. And get out there and get the business in. The Ford Backbone of Business event runs from the 12th to the 20th of September. We're with you on this journey. Ford Commercial Vehicles. Search Backbone of Britain.
Model exclusions and deposit restrictions may apply. Free post for credit.
At Ring, we've reinvented the doorbell. So no matter where you are or what time of day, you can watch over your home and the things you care about. Ring Video Doorbell streams HD video and two-way talk straight to your phone, so you can speak to whoever's at your door from anywhere.
Delivery.
Oh, great. Can you leave it round the back, please?
Sure, no problem.
And it's so simple, you can install it yourself in minutes. See, hear and speak to whoever's at your door from wherever you are with Ring Video Doorbell. Available at ring.com and selected retailers.
At Vision Express, we know just how precious your eyes are. That's why, for every eye test booked, we're donating £3 to the Macular Society, helping to beat the #1 cause of sight loss in the UK. Book an eye test in-store or online today. Vision Express, proud sponsors of National Eye Health Week. Visit visionexpress.com for details.
We got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals on a wide range of trade-quality building products. In September, we've got 100mm Thermalite blocks for just 99p each ex-VAT. Now that's a real deal. Find even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse and online at selcobw.com. Selco, serving the trade for 125 years.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
That charged at 20%.
This isn't just music, it's a feeling. The feeling of being out on the road with the sun on your face and the wind in your hair. Get that feeling. Switch to AA Breakdown Cover. Now with up to a third off until the 9th of September. Visit theaa.com. New customers only. Excludes roadside only. T's and C's apply.
From the centre of the football universe.
What a hit!
The Nations League. Live on Talk Sport.
To the cricket, Australia rapid in response to England. They need to get rid of their captain, don't they, John Norman?
Well, they just have done, Sags. I tell you what, if you come to me before the break, I would have said Australia taking this game at a canter. 146 to target. They were 70 for 1. We saw them collapse in outrageous fashion in the first T20. Are they about to do the same thing again tonight? Stoinis going for 26, Maxwell for 6, and Finch has just been deceived by a beautiful googly from Adil Rashid. Finch should have gone on 27, though. Johnny Bairstow with the drop of the season. That could have typified England's approach, which has been shoddy at times. But suddenly, England back in this contest. Australia need 59 from 56. They're 87 for 4.
Yeah, amazing, that one from Bairstow. He just basically closed the gloves too quickly, running after what was a skyer. To the US Open now. Quarter-finals, Lisa O'Sullivan.
Yeah, first of the men's matches, and after Novak Djokovic's exit, one of the men playing today will be into their first ever Grand Slam final. We're in the top half of the draw where Alexander Zverev has levelled the match with Borna Coric, having gone 6-1 down in the first set. The German's taken the tie-break in the second. He's won 46% of his Grand Slam matches after losing the first set. He's 2-1 up with a break in the third.
Lisa, thank you very much indeed. Back to the stadium in Copenhagen then, the Parken Stadium, of course. And Stuart Pearce, what would you like, perhaps, England tactically to improve on in this second half?
Well, certainly formation-wise, Sags, I think it's important. Flatten out to a back four. That might involve maybe the removal of one of the central defenders. And then I'm looking at the bench and thinking who could come on into a number 10 spot. And probably Grealish falls into that category. You know, I think we've got to get our wide players in Sterling and Sancho another 10 yards wider on the touchline and supply them with the ball.
Be interesting, won't it, if Grealish does get his opportunity as well here, Stuart. But still want to reiterate, this is a good way for England to certainly help make up Gareth Southgate's mind into forming this thought around some of the players that he's not sure about.
Well, it's not just forming about the players and how well they are and them vying for places. You've also got a situation where he's played a couple of different formations as well. He's found it very difficult to break a very sturgid Iceland team down. And also in this game as well, the formation we played, I think, has stifled us a little bit personally, you know. So especially, I mean, it's not been helpful to him that Chilwell's not been available to be a natural left-sided player to take the ball in both games, you know. Yeah. So that's been difficult for him, Sags.
Yeah, I mean, there is that opportunity, but these things are what might happen. And again, the complexities and the changes are important, and one or two will benefit from that, with the likes of Cody getting his opportunity tonight.
Oh, 100%. And Phillips as well in midfield. You know, Phillips has played his part in there, him and Rice. You know, they've been a frontal shield to the back three. It's been a difficult game to really impose himself on, but he's playing his part within the team.
Harry Kane as well, just at times getting isolated.
Definitely, yeah. As I say, he's got the backup from Sancho and Sterling playing just behind, but he's not had any crosses come into the box, any meaningful crosses to get on the end of. And, you know, he either wants the ball on the edge of the box so we can wriggle and get his shots away, or alternatively he wants crosses into the box like all good strikers, and I don't think he's had either at this moment in time.
No, and for Denmark as well, they've shown that they're absolutely going to have their moments, aren't they, as well?
Yeah, I wouldn't say they've had great cutting edge in the game, but they've certainly had the best, probably one or two two chances, probably a real clear-cut chance just before half-time, and they'll be the team gone in at half-time, bit disappointed they've not taken the lead in the game.
Well, the sides will be making their way out very shortly for the second half. Just to reiterate the team news, and for the second 45, alongside Stuart, of course, international commentator Jim Proudfoot.
Thanks, thank you very much indeed. The England players just making their way out. Just before the second half gets underway, and news of a milestone goal. Cristiano Ronaldo scored for Portugal his 100th international goal. Only the second player in history in the men's game to reach 100 international goals. Ali Leaue for Iran the other. So Ronaldo 100 goals in 165 games for his country, and he's now scored in 17 successive calendar years for Portugal. Many congratulations to him. Gareth Southgate makes his way very belatedly, trotting with some intent down the touchline as the second half gets underway without him, and Christian Eriksen gets a shot in 10 seconds into the second half from the edge of the penalty area, which bounces back off an England player out towards the touchline, where Sancho is then penalised and free kick's been given against him, much to his huge frustration. He was absolutely convinced that firstly he kept that ball in play and that he hadn't fouled Norgard, but the referee has given a Danish throw, and justice was then done as it was flipped by Norgard straight out of play for an England throw. 40 seconds into the second half here on TalkSport, 0-0, and alongside me, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, no formation changes, as I was probably predicting or even hoping, or an equal measure of both potentially. But it'll be interesting to see how
Vest, Jørgensen, Christensen, Sko, Norgard, Delaney, Poulsen, Eriksson, Brathwaite and Dolberg up front. England have the ball. Trippier keeping it in right on the left-hand touchline, and Eric Dyer has it now, and he will be able to bring it forward over halfway, sliding in. Poulsen just gets a touch to guide it back for his right back, Vest. Now Delaney can turn and get away from Calvin Phillips in the midfield. Christensen scooping one forward, and Sko will make the run. Gomez is quick and has done well just to go shoulder to shoulder with the man that he's marking. Very intelligent defending to knock it out of play off Sko for a throw that will be taken on the England right-hand side.
Oh, fantastic ball by Christensen there. Just killed it with his right foot out to the left-hand side, kept it in play. Sko was by far favourite to get there, but Gomez put the afterburners on, defended it well.
And he will take a throw next month with Wales, Belgium and Denmark all at Wembley in the space of a week. Wales are friendly, and then Belgium and Denmark games 3 and 4 in the Nations League. Just to reiterate the situation in the Nations League, you'll remember that last time England were in a 3-team group. They're in a 4-team group now, but it's still the same. Finish top, you're in sometime autumn 20. You're in League B next time around after relegation. Ball is out of play for an England throw. No change in formation, no real discernible change in the way that the game is going in the early stages of this second half. Denmark's possession from about the 15-minute mark onwards was certainly more effective than England's in that first period. Sko did well to judge that a long diagonal from Eric Dyer was not going to be a potent ball, and ducked himself, almost threw himself underneath it in the end so that he didn't get a touch, and it goes out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Schmeichel. A Leicester City man working it to his right hand side for Jørgensen, and now Vest will play the ball forward towards halfway. Good jump by Dyer, beating Youssef Poulsen, played forward by Rice. Sancho going up for it in the midfield, loses out to Christensen. Phillips picking up the pieces, goes wide to his left for Trippier. Trippier with the stitches above his right eye after that fearsome clash in training with Danny Ings. Good ball out towards Alexander-Arnold, but he only had Harry Kane in the penalty area, and there were 5 Danes in there as well. Kane couldn't beat those odds, and Brathwaite will bring it away.
Yeah, Phillips, great diagonal ball there. Got to arrived at Trent Alexander's. He was chasing it and galloping down the right, but he pulled it back, and as you rightly say, just 1 against 4 in the box, not good odds.
Poulsen fouled again, and free kick goes Denmark's way. And Stern strong challenge from behind by Eric Dyer, who stretched out his right leg and then caught the toes of Paulson's right boot with the studs of his own. Gomez heads away, finds Declan Rice. Rice facing the wrong way, does well to find Alexander-Arnold, who can turn it forward. Defensive header from Nørgaard under pressure from Kane. Loose ball picked up by Sancho, work wide, out towards the left-hand touchline where Sterling will make the run, and now Sterling has an opportunity to try and run at Zanke Jørgensen with Sancho in the middle. Kane's in there as well. Midfield can't get forward in support though, and he has to hold it up, wait for Trippier to arrive, and Vest can slide in and put it out of play.
Yeah, game looks as though just getting stretched slightly, and a bit more room for England to manoeuvre on the counter-attack there, but as you rightly say, it was Sterling, it was Kane, and not much other in support.
Cody has the ball at his feet inside his own half, works it wide out to the left-hand touchline in front of the Danish flags of red with the off-centre white cross. Forward from Phillips into the feet of Sterling. Long ball forward now for Harry Kane's run, knocked away by Jørgensen. Nørgaard juggling with the ball under pressure from Sancho. Delaney works it briskly back for Sko, and the left back gets it away towards halfway. Bounce is actually on the halfway line, but Cody's there first for England, and now Phillips will be able to pick it up, and the 24-year-old runs it out towards the touchline, which touched a little bit heavy, and it goes out of play. Would have been eligible to play for Jamaica, reportedly for Ireland as well. Calvin Phillips, the first time that he's had international recognition at any level, and it's a fitting reward for the progress that he's made at Leeds United, becoming tonight the first Leeds player to play for England since Alan Smith back in 2004. Cody watching as Rice plays the ball forward. Sancho just laying it into the feet of Harry Kane. He just had to juggle it. Kane behind him, and then Kane was fouled by Brathwaite, and that'll be the first yellow card of the night. Brathwaite, the player in the book.
Yeah, rightly so there. Kane just driving over the halfway line looking to break, and he was just, I don't think it was intentional, I just think it was a little bit slow. Kane just moved the ball away from him. Be interesting, I just think that Conor Cody playing in this, his club side play dominantly a three at the back, and it just makes you wonder if Gareth was going to play a four at the back with just two centre halves, whether that means that he doesn't get a game on any given time.
England will work it forward again. I don't know when the last time that Conor Cody played in a back four was. I was going to say if ever, he must have done it occasionally, but it would only be very occasionally, because when he first went to Wolves he was a defensive-minded midfielder rather than a centre-half. England have got Kieran Trippier down at the moment. A play goes on for a bit, and Paulson sportingly puts it out of play, seeing that Trippier is hurt. Trippier had brought the ball forward onto his right foot, was just waiting to get it away. That was a rash lunging challenge from Nørgaard, and Trippier might need a little bit of treatment for that.
Yeah, he went straight through him, feet off the ground, Nørgaard, and I'm surprised he wasn't pulled up on it, and Trippier holding his toe, and the boots offer very little protection for a stud injury.
Let's get news of another goal, first in the second half in Brussels, Belgium against Iceland. Here's TalkSport's Ian Abrahams.
And probably game's that match here, because it's Belgium 3, Iceland 1. Short corner taken to the edge of the area for Kevin De Bruyne, onto his left foot, fed the ball through to Dries Mertens. Mertens inside onto his right foot, 8 yards out, squeezed it home. Belgium 3, Iceland 1.
Thank you, Moose. France leading Croatia by 2-1. He scored twice right at the end of the first half, with Martial setting up both of them. The first a Griezmann goal, and the second a Livakovic own goal, after Dejan Lovren had given Croatia an early lead. Sweden 0, Portugal 1. Ronaldo with that goal in the first half stoppage time, just after Svensson had been sent off for a second bookable offence. So Portugal in complete control there, a goal up and a man up as well. Belgium 3, Iceland 1, as we heard from Ian in the other game in this group. And in League C, 0-0 in Luxembourg, and Azerbaijan lead 1-0 in Cyprus. Trippier back on his feet after receiving that treatment. He's been in the wars over the last 48 hours or so. He's okay, he's able to continue. Denmark will bring the ball forward. 9 minutes into the second half, and a surprise that England haven't made a change as yet. Sko on the Danish left. chipping it forward. Dolberg making the run. Cody coming across. Just stopped the ball forward, allowed Gomez to do the rest to get it away. Gomez convinced that should have been an England throw, but it's been given to Brathwaite. Denmark take it quickly, lose it. Now England will try and get it forward. Kane just labouring a little bit as he tried to get goal side of Zanke Jørgensen. He's fouled him anyway, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Denmark on the edge of the box. What have you made of Harry Kane's performances and fitness over 55 minutes tonight and the 70-odd that he played in Reykjavik?
I think both games he's been starved of supply line, Jim, so it's really difficult to judge, you know, unless you're giving him decent supply, unless you're getting the ball in wide areas and putting crosses in the box. It's very difficult for him, and he's feeding off scraps, so it's been a difficult one to judge over the two games, especially the Iceland game.
0-0 tonight, as it was, of course, at this stage and long after this stage in that match in Reykjavik. But frustratingly tonight, worryingly from an England perspective, they've had one shot and it's been off target. That's all they've mustered so far this evening. In 55 minutes, Denmark have had 6, albeit only the one on target, having only had the one on target in their defeat to Belgium the other day. Delaney waiting for the ball in the midfield. Nørgaard's turned it the other way instead. Dolberg holding it up well with a good first touch, setting it off towards Eriksson. Eriksson finds Sko. Sko going outside Alexander-Arnold. Ball into a dangerous...
Yeah, Gomez got his club mate out of a bit of trouble there. Trent just slipped and Sko just got half a yard on him, whipped the ball in, but Gomez's positional play very good.
Eriksson finding Vess. Vess peeling away to the right flank. Another very versatile player who has been converted to a full-back from central midfield. Eriksson getting it away from Phillips to find Delaney. Delaney goes back for Christensen. Andreas Christensen, who's played 100 games for Chelsea now, back in possession, working it to his right for Jørgensen. He's now playing his club football in Turkey with Fenerbahce. Phillips doesn't commit himself and just waited for Delaney to play it forward. Phillips could then intercept and flick it out of play for a throw. And England still lacking any potency, any real drive. Christensen going to his right. Vess up the touchline for Poulsen. Poulsen into the feet of the penalty area for Delaney. Back he comes towards Christian Eriksen. Eriksen working it wide to the right-hand side again for Vess, and now space for Delaney. He's worked it back infield, but the shot on target, only their second of the night, was very easy for Pickford. He could just almost kneel down and put his hands behind it. It just plopped into his grasp very easily. 12 gone second half, 0-0 on TalkSport.
Yeah, Eriksson sort of being integral in the set-up play there, and you always worry when Eriksson's got the ball at his feet. He is the one that can find a clever pass or a finish.
Phillips. You think England have got the balance of the midfield right tonight with Rice and Phillips?
I think it's okay as a shield, but I don't think they've got it right in front of them, if I'm being honest with you, Jim. That's where the problem lies. I think if you just had one shield and maybe two advanced into that, it just comes into traffic again. It wouldn't work. You've got to have two sitters there in this formation.
Sterling picking it up. Kane had made an early run, would have been offside. Instead he's checked back and looks for Alexander-Arnold's run, who gives it a yelp of frustration as the overhit ball goes out of play. But at least England working it into a wider position. They are going to make a change in a moment, and it's Mason Mount who will come on. I think there's a case for England switching to 3-5-2, bringing Mount on into the midfield, maybe alongside the two that they're taking, say, Sancho off.
Well, potentially, if it was me, I would be tempted to bring one of the central defenders off, Jim, and flatten out to a back four and put Mount just in behind Harry Kane. That's how I would go with this one.
Well, Mason Mount will be on in a moment with almost an outplay. Good ball over the top. Kane brings it down, left-footed effort. Schmeichel saved it. Flag up anyway. And that denies England their first shot on target. But that was better. Good movement from Harry Kane. Just went a fraction early. Maybe not quite a fraction, a bit more than that. Christensen had done well, held the line. It was a good save from Schmeichel anyway. But applause from Gareth Southgate. And Mason Mount will come on with half an hour to go. And Jadon Sancho is the player that he has replaced. So Mount for Sancho. Mount coming on for his 7th cap. Scored against Kosovo last season. And it's his 5th substitute appearance within those 7 games for his country. So England persisting with the back 3 for now. And Mount playing, looks like, as a 10. But Sterling still wide to his left. Here's Phillips just shepherding the ball out of play. So your thoughts on that change, Stuart, with an hour gone at 0-0?
Yeah, I mean, for me, Jim, I would have certainly gone to a back 4 and everything that's thrown into the mix. It depends the impact that Mount has on the game. It would be fair to say that Sancho has failed to have a little bit of impact in this game, and I think it's more so the fact that he's played tucked in, where his best work, I think, is a little bit wider.
Croatia have equalised at the Stade de France against France, 2-2. Bracalo, who came off the bench at half-time, has scored the second goal, with Mateo Kovacic setting him up. Here's Alexander-Arnold's ball inside the penalty area, chested down by Sterling. Mount is in support. Sterling's got arms all around him from Jørgensen. He's done well to maintain possession and then peels away to find Harry Kane. Kane outside the box, right-footed effort, hits Sterling, who's probably going wide anyway. Don't think it would have been a problem for Schmeichel. And in fact, as the ball comes back off the England man, the flag goes up, and it's another free kick to Denmark on the edge of their own penalty area.
Yeah, the mark of sort of Harry Kane's impact, if you like, in the game. He's picked the ball up, and by the time he's turned on the edge of the box, there's probably, I think, 8 Denmark players between him and the goal, and he's made it very difficult for him tonight. But you know full well he just needs one chance, and the ball will be on target, and he'll work Schmeichel.
Looked as though there was a shove by Poulsen on Trippier, certainly in the context of the way that Istvan Kovac has refereed this game. As soon as there's any contact and a player goes down, the whistle goes, and that was another illustration. Trippier back on his feet. Free kick taken back for Connor Cody. Cody working it forward for Dyer. Dyer playing it straight into Poulsen from close range. Bounce back for Dyer. Dyer goes to his goalkeeper. Pickford clears it along the deck. That one straight to Poulsen. Stumbled as he controlled the ball, then just kept it in. But the stumble was enough to allow Trippier to get back goal side. And he can then clear it from his own dead ball line. A high right-footed ball forward. And he's found Harry Kane on halfway, who's judged to have used his arm in controlling it. And it's a free kick on halfway to the Danes.
Well, yeah, it's definitely handball, just looking at the replay there. But every time you see a player's expression in slow motion, they look absolutely flabbergasted that a decision's given against them. The referee got that one right, though.
Delaney under pressure from Mount. Sterling is still predominantly playing wider on the left-hand side, but it is much more of a 3-4-1-2 formation that England are playing now, and they play with the back 3 in the World Cup. Had the wing-backs outside the 3 centre-halves, and then effectively played a diamond in midfield with Sterling at the tip of it, playing in the most advanced role of the 4, but almost doubling up as a second striker with Harry Kane. And that's not a formation that they've tried tonight.
I think this might help them actually a little bit in this formation. Mount looks as though, as you mentioned there, just tucked in behind Sterling, who's gone to give Harry Kane a little bit of support up front, I think.
Trippier with the ball in his hands, throws it down the line. It's headed back by Nørgaard, brought down by Brathwaite. Neat control, a little bit of juggling. Has it on his right thigh and turns it onto his left foot, the Barcelona man. It's the 3rd player to play for both Barcelona and Denmark, or should I say the 3rd player to play for Denmark whilst at Barcelona. He's laid it back inside his own half for Christian Eriksen. Eriksen goes back for Schmeichel. Schmeichel controls it. Long right-footed ball forward from him. Got a good defensive record, Denmark. They've only conceded 3 in the last 7 games, although 2 of those did come on Saturday night in this stadium against Belgium. Brathwaite brought forward here by Eriksen, right in the challenge on the edge of the penalty area of Cody, who had to make sure that he didn't dive in and make contact. Vest will deliver, right-footed ball in. Alexander-Arnold given the instruction by Pickford to get it away, and he did just that. And then as Mason Mount tries to bring it clear, he goes down. Referee says play on, which is a novelty. Doesn't the second time though, as Delaney is caught, and the free kick rightly given Denmark's way.
Yeah, great ball into the box then. Once again, it's the architect is Eriksson. Fantastic footwork from him. Great ball into the box, and Trent's position, fantastic. Just tucked inside the far post, like any good fullback should be.
Denmark were unbeaten at the last World Cup. They lost to Croatia on penalties only in the round of 16. Croatia, of course, going all the way to the final on the back of that. Well, this free kick's a long way out, but it's not stopping Christian Eriksen having a little size up of it, and he hits it from distance well over the bar. He was 35 yards out, and he's put it 6-7 yards over.
Yeah, horrific free kick there. As I say, Pickford just had two in the wall, just split a yard apart, so they had a good eyesight of it, and to beat him from that distance, certainly with a side foot, non-existent.
They've got a massive flag up at that end of the ground, just a reminder of their Viking heritage. And they've got a Viking warrior with a sword and a shield, and the free kick. First 45 minutes that day, they were tremendous. Here's Rice playing it forward to Raheem Sterling, just drawn away by Delaney. Comes back for Rice. Rice works it back inside his own half for Cody. Cody for Dyer. We're midway through the second half, and England are still waiting for their first shot on target of the night in a game that, truth be told, has been pretty forgettable. All very worthwhile exercise, of course, as far as England are concerned. This might be a moment, but not quite, as Sterling picked up the ball on the half-turn from a ball that was played into space on the edge of the D. And Sterling turned in an instant. Kane made the run, and he managed to squeeze the ball between left-back and centre-half Christensen, but just too much on it for Kane, and he couldn't get it under his stride.
Sterling just dropped to his knees there. He knew how frustrated he was with himself that he didn't get that pass from. Great movement by Sterling into that position. Received it with one touch and just hit it too hard for Kane to get on the end of.
Alexander-Arnold, lofted ball over the top. Mason Mount is in, but is he allowed to continue? Yes, he is. He's controlled it down on the dead ball line. Thought that he might have given away a free kick for a shove on Vest. In comes the ball. Kane with the header at the far post. Difficult chance, has headed it over the bar, but he was peeling back as the ball came in. That was better from England, more direct. Excellent play from Mason Mount to start it off, but a very difficult opportunity for Kane.
Yeah, great ball in there. That was the benefit of Trippier's right foot. Just opened his body out, put it into the far post, and Kane just running backwards, just couldn't get on top of the ball. The game seems to have opened up a touch more now. We're getting a bit more freedom in the final third.
Foul by Trippier on Vess. And a free kick to Denmark. Still Belgium 3, Iceland 1 in the other game in this group. France have retaken the lead now in their match with Croatia. It's been a real seesaw affair at the Stade de France tonight, but Upamecano has given them the lead, 3-2, in a repeat of the 2018 World Cup final. Might be the same scoreline as well by the end of the night. Ball is headed away by Norgard. Phillips bringing it down in the midfield. Just over 20 minutes to go. Cody to his right-hand side for Gomez. And Gomez on halfway will drive the ball out towards the England left-hand side, where it's brought under control by Kieran Trippier. Trippier, infield towards Mason Mount. Mount controls it, works it back for Trippier again. And now playing England's first corner of the second half. Won by Raheem Sterling, as he's looking for his 12th goal in 13 internationals. The corner will be taken on the England left-hand side. Cue for the centre-halves to make their ways forward. Cody, who seldom does for Wolves, is in there along with Dyer. Sterling stands hands on hips, edge of the 6-yard box. The players from both sides go down in a skirmish around the penalty spot. All eyes on the ball, they all tripped over each other. Delivery was cleared. Gomez then plays it back out towards Alexander-Arnold on the England left-hand side. It doesn't quite get that far, but Mount will be able to play him in now. Back it comes for Rice in the midfield. 20 to go, 0-0. England have taken time to warm to their task tonight, but this has been a better spell for them. Belgium go 4-1 up at home to Iceland. We'll get the details of that goal in a moment. Denmark win it back cheaply in the midfield, and Dyer's got a bit of chasing to do. He's done it well to get there ahead of his former teammate Christian Eriksen and get it back for Jordan Pickford. Pickford will play out from the back, find Phillips. Phillips finds Joe Gomez, and England can bring it out of harm's way. Let's get news of that fourth goal for Belgium from Ian Abrahams.
Yeah, Belgium 4, Iceland 1, 20 minutes to go. Low ball in from the left-hand side, and the most audacious of back heels from Missy Batshuayi inside the 6-yard box. His second of the night. Belgium's fourth. Belgium 4, Iceland 1.
Ball inside the Denmark penalty area. It's headed away by Jørgensen and then brought down by Dolberg. And Dolberg just takes it out towards the touchline. It's caught by Joe Gomez, and it's a free kick to Denmark. The latest in the cricket, incidentally. Australia looking good. They need another 13 of 15 balls, and they've still got 5 wickets in hand. Marsh 33 not out at the moment, so they're going well. They should be okay. We'll keep you updated with that. Nørgaard coming off, and Højbjerg, Tottenham man, coming on to replace his international counterpart. Nørgaard winning his first cap for his country tonight, the Brentford player, and Højbjerg will get 20 minutes to, he will hope, improve on his performance from the weekend defeat to Belgium. He was certainly culpable for the first goal that they conceded from a set piece, which was a corner swept in from the right hand side, and he'd lost his man as Jason Denier made a run across the face of him and put it in. And that's Denmark's first change. It is a straight swap in the midfield. 0-0, 17 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's England just getting the ascendancy, I believe, in this game at the moment, and they need to keep penning Denmark back and starving Eriksen of the ball.
Yusuf Poulsen battling for the ball with Calvin Phillips. Both players had their boots up, and it was Poulsen who went to the ground. And Jack Grealish will be coming on in a moment. Number 17 will get 17 minutes. He'll be on at the next break in play. So Grealish on for his debut in a moment. Will he be the man to make the difference? Kane chasing a back pass for Schmeichel. Kasper Schmeichel able to get it away easily, though. It's helped on down the left hand side by Sko. Dolberg drops off and is able to pick it up and then turn. Good challenge to win it back from Rice in the midfield, and then Alexander-Arnold's given it away. The ball that went too far away from Phillips to be serviceable, and Poulsen can win it back. Back from him at Højbjerg. Højbjerg, who's sitting at the base of a triangle now in the Danish midfield. 4 from him to Brathwaite. Brathwaite's got Vest making a run outside him to the right-hand side. He's turned back the other way, though, to feed Delaney. Delaney down the left-hand touchline for Sko. Sko will control it on his left foot and then bring it infield. Christian Eriksen played in now. Eriksen doesn't want to turn. He's just gone back, playing the way that he's facing. Højbjerg then caught, put under immediate pressure by his new Tottenham teammate Kane. Down towards the left-hand touchline for Sko, who nutmegs Alexander-Arnold, but Cody gets a shout from Pickford to leave it, and the ball rolls through inside the penalty area.
Yeah, can't quite understand what Sko was doing there. He's nutmegged someone with no pass on the outside or no endeavour to get to the ball himself. But the game seems to have settled down a little bit at the moment from England's ascendancy in it, and the players looking a little bit tired.
Understandable with the way that there have been so many different variations in the training regimes over the last few weeks, and last season stopping at different times for everybody. Very difficult with these international fixtures, peculiarly this year taking place before the domestic season starts. And Gareth Southgate just gets a wink from Jack Grealish as they shake hands, and Grealish will come on here for another one of England's debutants. Phillips off and Grealish on to make his debut for England.
I think Phillips has had a good steady game in there. He's not been it's not been an outstanding performance, but in the role he's been asked to do, and I think in the second half of the game he's got better and better and more comfortable on the ball. So I think that young man can be pleased with his contribution tonight.
And Denmark have made a change at the same time, and Rasmus Falk, who played very well for Copenhagen against Manchester United in the Europa League quarter-final a few weeks ago, has come on to replace Dolberg. England work the ball down the left-hand touchline. Sterling chases it but can't keep it in, and it's gone out of play for a corner. 14 minutes to go. Well, big night for Grealish, who won 6 caps for the Irish under-21s and 7 more for their English counterparts. Caught up only after Marcus Rashford dropped out of the squad, having not been named in the initial contingent. He only got 1 goal for Villa in his last 17 appearances, but it was the one that kept them up, and as was well documented over the course of the Premier League season, he was fouled more than any other player in the Premier League, and it wasn't even close. Schmeichel, the edge of the 6-yard box, gets it out from the back. England pressing. He's now to play round the press of Kane to feed Højbjerg. Højbjerg now to Eriksen. Eriksen working it out to the Danish right-hand side for the full-back Vest. A little 1-2 between the pair of them. Now comes back for Højbjerg in the midfield. 13 to go on TalkSport at 0-0. Felk makes his way forward. Sko is in possession. Felk showing for the ball into feet. Sko works it back for Eriksen instead. Declan Rice shadowing his every move, trying to make life difficult for him. Eriksen takes it down towards the touchline, and then Mount's done well to get in the way and flick it off Eriksen and out of play for an England throw.
Yeah, Eriksen's the one that you want to have facing away from your goal. He's certainly got an eye for a pass, and he is the one that if he's been integral for anything that Denmark have thrown at
us. Sweden 0, Portugal 2, and Cristiano Ronaldo started his 2nd century. Simon Kjær being spoken to by his new international coach Kasper Hjulmand. He'll be on in a moment seemingly. Last change for Denmark. England have still got 1 more change left at their disposal. 12 minutes to go. Will they be able to find a way through? It would be a creditable result, bearing in mind Denmark's impressive record. Just to remind you, 1 defeat in 16, 1 defeat in 26 competitive internationals. So from that point of view, 0-0 away to a side with that kind of record is a presentable result, but it has been a disappointing, listless performance from England at times tonight. Nevertheless, another late winner as they got in Reykjavik. Certainly be extremely welcome. Would leave England in a commanding position in this Nations League group along with Belgium. Cody finds Gomez. Gomez turns it back for Pickford. They just had visions for a moment as Pickford was trying to adjust his feet and then actually slipping under his left foot and going towards goal, but he was able to rescue it. Mason Mount drops deep and is put under pressure by Delaney. He's done well to maintain the ball for England. Plays it through the midfield to find Gomez. Paulson then puts Mount under pressure. It's worked out towards the England left-hand side. Sterling will be able to pick it up. Tries to go away from Højbjerg. He's managed that very effectively. Takes it down towards the byline. He's brilliantly committed Vest as well, who slid in. Sterling couldn't quite make the most of it to get a cross in, but after a little 1-2 over on that left-hand touchline with Trippier, still Raheem Sterling has it. From that little bit deeper now, little 1-2 between Sterling and Grealish. Grealish will bring it forward. Still Grealish, right in one challenge, cuts inside the penalty area. Still Jack Grealish goes, but then had to turn away from the penalty spot, and Delaney got in the way. And Denmark will be able to bring it clear. But that was certainly a moment that showed that Jack Grealish exudes confidence.
Yeah, he certainly did. He's gone out there, he's looking to get on the ball as much as he possibly can. Obviously the lack of Foden and Greenwood being on the bench or on the pitch loses us a bit of cutting edge, but he's the one who's potentially benefited by getting on today, and if he could get a goal to mark that as well, he'll be delighted.
An Olivier Giroud penalty has made it France 4, Croatia 2, Belgium 5, Iceland 1 now in the other game in this group. And in the cricket, Australia just need one more run off the last 5 balls. They're going to win, but will be 2-1 down in the series. Is Vess, right-footed ball inside the penalty area. He's taking the deflection on its way through. Paulsen heads it down, and Eriksson, Falca, beg your pardon, coming onto it. Should have scored. It might actually have been Eriksson that got the last touch, as he and Felt both attacked the same ball. And it is Christian Eriksen running onto it. Had he kept his effort down there, would have given Denmark the lead, and he should have done.
Well, I'm going to have to put that down as a really, really bad miss there. It was a ball into the box. It's cannoned off an England player, sent it spinning in the air to the far post. Paulsen's headed it back brilliantly, and under pressure from Gomez, well, he should have scored, to be quite honest with you, and we've been let off big time.
Now the defending was just enough. Here's Grealish at the other end, wins a corner after some direct play down that right flank. He's knocked it off Sko, and out for England's second corner of this second half. And just going back to the Christian Eriksen chance, had to hit it first time, and just had to hit it slightly higher than he wanted to, as a result of the fact that the challenge was coming in. Well, Simon Kjær is going to be coming on in a moment for Denmark. And just while Danes make that final change, we'll get news of that 5th Belgian goal from Ian Abrahams.
What a blinder it was too. Belgium 5, Iceland 1. Jeremy Doku's second international appearance down the left-hand side into the penalty area, cut onto his right foot, and he smashed it into the far corner. Belgium 5, Iceland 1.
Thank you, Moose. 8 minutes to go in that game, and the same in this one. Denmark 0, England 0 it remains. And England have a corner, which Kieran Trippier is going to take on the right flank. Mason Mount is in position for the short one. But the Danes have made the change. Even though they're about to defend the corner, they have brought the centre-half Kjær on, and they've taken the attacking midfielder Brathwaite off. Will this be England's moment? Another right-wing corner, which has proved to be a problem for Denmark defending. In he comes from Trippier, very deep towards the edge of the 6-yard box. More pushing and shoving going on. 2 Danish players ending up on the deck. I don't know whether they pushed themselves over, but their counterparts could clear it. And then a high crossfield ball intended for Trippier to try and link up the play again. Sails over his head and goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the right-hand side. It is all over in the cricket. And quick news of Australia's victory comes from John Norman.
Well, they made hard work of it, Jim, but Australia have got over the line, beating England by 5 wickets. Under par England with bat, 145 for 6, and in the field, Mitchell Marsh top scoring with 39. He was dropped on 2 on 8, and he should have been run out chasing that final run. Australia win tonight by 5 wickets. England take the series 2-1.
John, thank you. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, another England debutant, will be on very shortly. In fact, he might get the chance to come on now. He's just receiving his final instructions. Paulsen's gone down again. This time a real sore one, as Joe Gomez and Paulsen went for the same ball. There was a clash of heads, but he's picked himself up. He's back on his feet and able to continue. 6.5 to go. Maitland-Niles will be on in a moment. I don't know whether that will be a straight swap for Trippier on the England left. Here's Kjær with a long ball fall for the Danes towards the edge of the England penalty area. Vess gets there ahead of Trippier, hooks it inside the box. Paulsen trying to guide it down for the onrushing Falk. It was cleared, and then Kjær comes to meet it and wins it back and plays it full for Eriksson. From him to Sko towards the edge of the penalty area. Sko taking inside the box. Alexander-Arnold did really well, nipped back in and then turned almost into traffic inside the 6-yard box, but could get it away. Picked up by Delaney, goes back for Christensen, back for Thomas Delaney. And the Dane fires it inside the area. Trippier stopped Vess getting an effective jump towards the ball, and it's gone over him and out of play for a throw. And that might give England the chance to make the change. Is Maitland-Niles going to come on now, or will they wait for the next break in play? It looks as though he is going to get his opportunity. 4 caps for England's under-21s, and as I mentioned earlier, excellent performances for Arsenal in the FA Cup semi-final, the final and the Community Shield. 3 really good displays at Wembley from Maitland-Niles, who will be on in a moment. But Denmark bring it forward again. Sko with a shot which is blocked by Gomez, almost broke for Falk. It's cleared into him, and then such is the curl imparted on the ball, it went out towards the touchline, was able to keep it in. Then as he fires it in towards the near post, Eriksson comes across and wins the corner.
Yeah, the odd worrying moment at the moment, a few scrappy incidents, the ball coming into our box, and once again Denmark got the opportunity from this corner to whip another one into the box.
Jönsson makes his way forward. Kjær is in there as well, the big blonde-haired, well-travelled defender. In comes that corner from Eriksson. A little flick on came from Kane, but England will be able to deal with it and then bring it away with Kane himself. Kane combines with Alexander-Arnold, and the ball with the outside of the right boot, just trying to curve it into the path of Raheem Sterling, but Christensen came back to cover and could find his goalkeeper. Schmeichel whacks it long down the left-hand touchline. Eriksson can't field it, and it goes out of play for an England throw, and it's sort of drifting through to a pretty tepid 0-0 draw at the moment. But will England be able to make a change late on in terms of the scoreline with this change in personnel? Maitland-Niles for Alexander-Arnold. You would imagine that will see Trippier switch flanks. England's final change and a debut for the Arsenal man.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with this young man. As you mentioned, he had some sterling performances at Wembley in the cup games and whatever, and also as well I saw him deal with Traore, come off the bench and dealt with Traore at Wolverhampton in a left back position, done really well against him that night.
Well, at the moment he's on the right and they've kept Trippier on the left, and Maitland-Niles is playing on the right. 3 minutes to go. 0-0 in the game we're concentrating on in Copenhagen tonight on TalkSport. Delaney has possession for the Danes. He's found Højbjerg in his blue boots. And he's played it back towards Delaney. Delaney working it back to Kjær, who's the deepest lying of the outfield players for Denmark, and then it's turned over the top. Maitland-Niles sees it bounce and then gets in ahead of Sko and correctly judges that the last touch came off the Danish winger, and it's gone out of play for a goal kick. Watford against Middlesbrough is our next live football on the TalkSport network. That's on TalkSport 2 Friday night. Lee Johnson alongside me for that one. And then Game Day Live on Saturday is back for you. Fulham against Arsenal with Clive Tilsley and Trevor Sinclair. It's a 12:30 kickoff. Reshmin in the chair for that one. Game Day Live sees Adrian at QPR against Nottingham Forest. All the goals as they go in from around the country. And Liverpool against Leeds in the Premier League. Leeds back in the top flight. Now that's a 5:30 kickoff. Sam Matterface with Sam Allardyce alongside him at Anfield. And Faye Carruthers presenting that for you. That's all coming your way on TalkSport on Saturday. And also Birmingham Brentford on TalkSport 2. And Ipswich Wigan on Sunday lunchtime. Also on TalkSport 2 from Portman Road in League 1. Play just stops for a moment. The referee not happy with something. I don't know whether it was merely Sko encroaching and trying to nick a few yards down the Danish left. I think it probably was. Rice can turn it away from the throw and then goes up for it with Poulsen. Poulsen, who's certainly been a menace, a real physical threat to the England players. He's put himself about very well. Delaney has given a free kick away. He's fouled Grealish, and it's a free kick to England inside the centre circle. Just coming into the stage of the game where it all exploded in Reykjavik. And will there be similar twists in the tail tonight in Copenhagen?
I think England will settle for the same result, Jim. I really will, but it's important that they don't concede at this stage, you know. Whenever you go on the road, if you can keep a clean sheet, half your work's done. So from a defensive point of view, albeit we've had a few near misses in the game, but a clean sheet you'd take every day.
It would be the fourth successive clean sheet for Jordan Pickford in the England goal. England have only led in 24 in the last 33 games now if this stays 0-0. Maitland-Niles pushing forward, attacking on the edge of the penalty area, trying to make something happen. Good touch from Grealish, finds Kane, who drills it well across the face of goals. Across comes shot, really. Sterling coming in at the far post. It took a deflection on its way through, and England have a 90th minute corner.
Well, once again, Sko's done well, got a good defensive position. He's headed the ball and then just decided to throw himself on the floor and try and buy a free kick. And I see it too often in the game nowadays. There must be so much more free kicks in the game by players just throwing themselves to the ground, but gives England the opportunity to put it in.
What can they manage from here? Plenty forward. We're in stoppage time as the corner will be taken. In he comes with plenty of width. Heads go up for it. It was a good defensive header from Kerr. Goes out for another corner. And this one will be taken on the right flank rather than the left. And the big bearded Dane did very well in his 97th appearance for his country, just to get there ahead of Joe Gomez to steer it away. England to take this latest corner. Their 5th. And to be taken on the right flank by Trippier. Mount waits on the edge of the penalty area. Sterling on the edge of the 6-yard box. Rice makes a darting near post run. Off the top of the head of Vest. Delaney is in there. Hooked towards goal by Dyer. Helped over the bar in the end by Schmeichel, but the whistle had already got. Push by Kane on Delaney and a free kick to Denmark. We're in 4 additional minutes and it's 0-0.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. Harry Kane just probably the wrong side, just trying to make up the extra metre or so, just to keep the attack alive, and just nudged the Danish defender. Now at the moment we look as though we're definitely destined for a 0-0, and neither of us knew exactly which way this game would go, but we couldn't call it, so a 0-0 potentially was the result.
Yeah, probably one of those matches that neither side's truly done enough to deserve to win. There was a little flurry of decent chances for Denmark at one stage. Eriksen's had one that he should have scored. Dolberg in the first half forced a good save out of Pickford, but he should have scored. And England have only had the one shot on target themselves. 2.5 minutes of stoppage time to go. And another free kick for England to defend. Eriksen standing over it. Sko likewise. And it is Sko, a left-footed ball into space behind England's high line, and coming to meet it was Kerr, but he got the trajectory of his header all wrong, and he's headed it well over the bar.
Well, question marks have got to be asked there. Kerr has just run off the back of, I'm not sure it was, looks like Maitland-Niles actually, and got an absolute free header, but luckily for England he got it horribly wrong. It's those little bits of concentration that are vital.
Well, providing England don't concede in the next couple of minutes, it will extend their run to only 1 defeat in the last 27 competitive away games, which came against the Czechs last year. And in terms of the context of the Nations League, it'll give England 4 points from their first 2 games, both having been played on the road. Doubleheader against Belgium is clearly going to be crucial. High ball turn forward. Kane will chase after it. He was just looking around, wasn't quite sure where it had gone. Neither was Schmeichel, and Harry Kane very nearly scored. Squeezed it towards goal, and only alert defending from Zanke Jørgensen knocks it off the line. Schmeichel mightily relieved. Kane sees his effort cleared off the line in the 4th minute of stoppage time.
Yeah, it was just a big hooked ball forward, a very good one at that though, but Schmeichel got it horribly wrong. He was so slow in coming off his line, and his defender Zanke has had to bail him out big time with a goal line clearance.
England very nearly winning it right at the end. Might yet. Trippier to take this latest corner. Another right-footed delivery from the right flank, headed away by Delaney, brought down by Grealish, 10 outside the penalty area, worked wide by him to Raheem Sterling. Sterling finding Grealish again. Grealish with quick, tricky feet. Drop of the shoulder to change the line of attack. High ball in. Trippier can hook it back into the 6-yard box, and it's gone over the line and out of play for a goal kick just before Trippier wrapped his foot around it. But I think the critics will say that this attacking intent that England have sporadically shown late in the game should have been prevalent much, much earlier. As it is, Schmeichel's free kick, or goal kick should I say, will just about be the last kick of the game, and this one is destined to end 0-0.
I think the best opportunity we've had was certainly that one in the 93rd minute by Kane. He'll be disappointed with himself now, and Harry.
Less than wonderful in Copenhagen. Not a vintage performance by England by any stretch of the imagination. Only 2 shots on target, but the second of those right at the end of the game very nearly gave them the victory. Zanke Jørgensen clearing one off the line after Harry Kane had beaten the stricken Kasper Schmeichel. Denmark had had the better efforts in the match prior to that. England will look back on these 2 away games with no degree of fondness. The positives, some debuts, Cody, Phillips, Grealish and Maitland-Niles all winning their first caps for England tonight. But it's not a game that will live long in the memory. The bottom line is that after 2 matches of the Nations League campaign, England have 4 points and 2 clean sheets. In Copenhagen, it's finished Denmark 0, England 0.
Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce, more from those boys in just a minute or so. We look ahead to where next for England and what with a disappointing game in a way. It's not been helped by everything that's gone on, but it's another point for England, and they will be second, obviously, to Belgium tonight. Belgium 5, Iceland 1. We'll get thoughts from Ian Abrahams very shortly. In fact, let's go to Ian right now.
12 minutes from the edge of the deer. Fine effort, but that was as good as it got, really, for the Icelandics. And Belgium got into top gear, really. Scored twice in 5 minutes just after that goal to go in front at half-time. The first tapped in by Axel Witsel, the second by Missy Batshuayi. Dries Mertens added a third 5 minutes into the second half. Good work by Kevin De Bruyne, celebrating his PFA Player of the Year award.